Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much. Boys, how would you get on with trying that attempt that we saw as goal number 1, Mario?
Oh, I even know his name. Kevin, what did you do there? Behind the foot? Oh my God. Yeah, listen, kid, keep practicing them skills and use them when you need them, because you just showed us that it was effective what you did.
Oh, I like a little bit of mentoring coming from Mario. For you, Jan, what would happen if you tried that now?
Hospital, I guess.
Again, back to the race with the fish.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That would go viral. I was, by the way, this last week I was there where I had my famous race. That's a famous racetrack where I was there, and yes, I was reminded of that fish. Let's put it that way.
Good. I'm pleased.
Is there a plaque? Is there a plaque on the track?
Yes, there should be.
There's got to be.
Some sort of
Of the fish.
Where the fish caught Jan.
Yes. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jules, it looks like, are you in Paris already? Excited? Oh, nervous?
Very excited. To tell you who's really good at Rabonas, Aurélien Tchouameni, right foot and left foot. It's one thing to do it with your stronger foot, but he can also do it with his weaker foot, which is pretty special.
Oh, that's good. Maybe you should try defending occasionally.
Yes.
Right.
with Rabona or without Rabona. Either way.
Oh, dear. You hate Real Madrid. OK. Let's start off with Mario. If you were in Trent's shoes, would you leave your boyhood club for free, even though your team just won the Premier League and could win many more trophies in following seasons?
Oh, it's an interesting question, but really quick to answer, because when I left Chelsea, we won the double. Prior to that, the year after, we won the cup, and I went to Chelsea. So, look, it's a boyhood. I had similarities. I grew up. I was 9 years old when I joined that team, and I became a pro at Chelsea. So I don't want to qualify myself as him because he won a lot more trophies. But you also have to understand, the kid has a dream in the sense of like going where he wants to go. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I'll be sad. But if I'm not a fan, I'll be like, I understand. He wants to change jobs and wants to see what is out there for him. So on that scale, I totally understand him. And I don't think anybody should have anything against him, and also not against the fans for missing him and being emotional about him leaving.
But there seems to be that emotion seems to have crossed the line, maybe, Jan, for you?
Well, yes, because I think we have to define sad. I do understand the Liverpool fans don't want any of their best players leave. I do understand that. He's a local lad. He's been doing well for them. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, if you sing on every game, you'll never walk alone. And when you leave the club, you walk alone. So I said that on Twitter today. I have never, and I knew that, I have never seen the tide of abuse coming my way. And then we can just imagine what's going on with Trent Alexander-Arnold at the moment. I don't like that. I do understand that the fans are sad. I do understand that they don't want to miss one of their best players for free. I do understand that it's tough for a player gonna stay there and do the right comments when your future is not 100% sorted. I get that. Having said that, I think it's great that the English kid wants to see the world, as I did with Harry Kane went to Bayern Munich, took his family there, open your life, see new things. I love that.
Exactly. Yes.
More importantly, is Trent Alexander-Arnold better than ESPN FC's Steve Nicol? I will take this if you don't mind. Liverpool, of course, were part of the team when I was growing up. I was born in 1980. During that time, with Steve Nicol playing at full-back, amongst other positions, he won 5 league titles, a European Cup, would have been more European trophies as well. Of course, it wasn't for English clubs being banned. Stevie is going to take some beating when it comes to that legendary status as part of a team that included Ian Rush, Kenny Dalglish, Graham Souness. Trent Alexander is here. Stevie Nicol is up there. And that's no disrespect to Trent and what he's done and the reason he wants to leave. But Stevie, you sometimes forget, because he's here and he's a funny old man and he only eats mints and he cleans his glasses with paper, how incredible. This was a guy who was the best player in England in 1989 as a defender. Oh, a bit emotional for Stevie then. Well, it's because Stevie's been away. Stevie's been away, you see.
Hey, we know who's your friend then. We know who's your friend, but it's good. I totally agree with you. Thank you for informing everybody.
Yeah. I think it's very easy for people to forget how incredible this guy was.
But
he's still alive and everything. I'm talking to him as if he's kind of gone. He's just on holiday. He'll be back on Thursday.
But we need you to negotiate his contract.
We all agree with you.
What
so
an
that's
agent.
good.
Jan, how difficult is it for teams to play Bodo Glimpt? Who would you say are favourites on Thursday, Bodo or Spurs? Oh, what timing, Jan? You were talking about this in the show, trying to.
No, yeah, well, yeah, good timing. I was at Tottenham. I saw the game. I worked on that game. I saw when Bodo Glimpt got that 3-1. I saw a team that celebrated that as a win. Why did they do that? Well, I watched the Lazio game. They should have won 6-0 against Lazio at home. So afterwards, we had Postecoglou pitch side. We were talking about now, for them in the mind of Tottenham, this game is getting more and more north. At the end, they will play in North Pole with Santa Claus. Secondly, the pitch will be worse and worse. I got from the producer of the Norwegian TV, he sent me pictures of the TV trucks on their way to Bodo, of course, stopped by snow. I love that. There we are. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. So they're on their way, and the AstroTurf will be an advantage for them. Do I think it's a big surprise if Bodo Glimt scored 2 goals against Tottenham? Not at all. I was there when they beat Roma with Jose Mourinho 6-1. And is there one team that can go to Bodo Glimt and lose 3-0, 3-1? That is Tottenham Hotspur. That is just simple. I don't think that everybody talking about an all-English final. I'm not there.
Jan, what I thought was I've got to ask you this, because you obviously have interviewed Ange, and at the start, as you mentioned, he was he's kind of the happy-go-lucky Australian. Now, you take a look at his interviews, he's grumpy, I know everything's going wrong, but he doesn't even look you in the eye. Does that not annoy you as an interview? Do you not want to whack him with a microphone and say, look, I'm a human being, I'm here as well. Look me in the eye. Surely you were brought up better than that.
Wow.
It really annoys me.
Apparently.
Yeah. Coincidentally, on Thursday, he was looking in our eyes. He was very good on Thursday. One of the best of the interviews he done. But yes, and it's hard to get something out of him when he looks at your shoes. Absolutely. Yeah. And I got very expensive shoes, so I thought I was that at the beginning. But he just does that with everybody. But I must say for Postecoglou, I like Postecoglou. He's a good lad. But I do understand what you're saying, Dan, because he got that monotone look and looking down. So it's hard to get something out of him in those situations.
Yeah, Jules, you must have interviewed people that don't look you in the eye. It must annoy you.
Yeah, I'm with you on Ange. I like him. I agree with Jan. He's a good guy. But this not looking in your eyes just drives me absolutely mad. And I don't know if it was the same with Jan, but when I interviewed him, he said hello looking at his shoes. So he would say hello to you, not looking at you in the eye. So not answering. But I also think not answering, looking at the camera for the people who are watching at home is bad already, because you're watching your television as a Spurs fan or non-Spurs fan, and you can't even see his eyes. And he's talking to you, it doesn't reach you. He can't reach you because there's no interaction with you, because he's not looking at the camera, which is where he will be looking at you through your television. And I've got issue with it. Well, I won't lie.
Can I say, Dan? Having said that, Jules, there are managers who see you in the eyes and gives you nothing. So that I won't mention any names. But I would just say, in terms of shoes, I once interviewed Conte when he was at Tottenham.
Yes.
I was at Old Trafford, and I had these shoes. I won't say the name of the shoes, but they were good shoes. And I am quite tall, and Conte came in with the same shoes that made him a bit taller, and he's not as tall as me. That is the understatement of the day. And he came into where we were standing, and he looked at me and he said, "We have the same shoes." And he kind of felt together. So he knew that it was no advantage for him to have those shoes making him bigger, because I was a giant.
All right, the whole story is Jan is taller than Conte. That's where we went.
By the way, Dan, I didn't want it to go unnoticed. Did you? Is this the sort of power that you have on this show, that when you started giving the answer about Stevie, the studio changed colors, it went all red?
Yes.
This doesn't happen for anybody else.
Well, this is it, you see.
Is this? No, I mean, when you answer a question, then the studio
It
changes
happens
color?
so rarely that I jump in and answer a question because I don't like the sound of my own voice. I like to hear everybody else's, obviously.
Right.
But on that occasion...
Yeah, and then the studio
I
had
think
to
it got
accommodate.
emotional. I think the studio got emotional.
exactly. I brought everybody
Studio
in.
got
The
emotional,
colour.
Ali. I think
Yes.
the studio got emotional
Yes.
when we talked
Yeah.
about Steve. Everybody just said,
Exactly.
like, no, let's get into that Zen moment
Yeah.
and just listen.
Hey,
Mario, just going back to interview technique because I find it quite interesting. As a player and you've done
go ahead and
badly,
change the subjects.
if you're a player and you've had a bad game, you're obliged obviously to go out and speak to the media if you're the recommended one. Is it too harsh of me to want you to look at me? Look at me, goddammit.
What?
No, I would look at you, but it's easier for you to get to me because I'm emotional. I lost the game, so my emotions are already driving high. And then the journalists always ask you questions that you don't want to answer. And they will keep pressing on it. And sometimes, you know what's the worst part for every footballer? When the journalist talks to you, but he himself cannot play football. Oh my God. That is like your head explodes. Because you almost want to ask him, why are you talking to me? Are you going to advise me not to tell me what to do? And then you got them because then they're also getting emotional. Then it becomes a rel. That's not good, but you better just leave it, answer him, and walk away.
I go back to an interview that we showed yesterday. Granit Xhaka and Leverkusen dropped points to Freiburg, which meant that Bayern Munich officially champions the Bundesliga. And the question by the journalist to Granit Xhaka was, not a question, but are you going to congratulate Bayern Munich? Are you kidding me? I would look at him straight in the eyes. Yes, there would be eye contact there. There would be eye contact, and there would be a whole lot more coming behind it.
Oh, man.
No, I'm just saying. Sometimes journalists.
But
And with all due respect to Juls.
Jules, Mario's saying that you don't have the right to interview players because you've never played at that higher level. Do you agree?
I've played at a good level enough to be allowed to ask questions, but some don't. I won't name names, but somebody I do a show very closely with never played at any sort of level in football. I'm just saying.
Wow.
They never kick the ball, man. Kick the ball straight.
Also Gab.
Yes. On the next Gab and Jules podcast,
And
Gab will have bus wheel marks over.
But hey, the good thing is that Gab makes eye contact, so there you go. That's good.
To make sure you're listening.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We
And
went on a
Jules, too.
tangent.
Jules make eye contact too. That's good.
Okay. Right. Back on contact. Everyone's got to make eye contact with everybody. Mario, what is the most important area Chelsea need to strengthen this summer?
I think they need to check on the defense to make sure that they bring more experience in and as an attack. I always said that. Level up the competition exactly on those 2 points because it will bring the quality up of the team and the understanding of where direction they want to go. Because now it's young boys listening to young boys. I want to see experience in the team.
Jules, are we ready to start calling Kylian Mbappe a team killer? Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Come on.
Come on. I agree with you, Jules.
Yeah, come on. You don't want me to answer this question. You know the answer already.
Dear. What do you say to people who say that Mbappe is a team killer, Jules?
They're wrong, and this is a stupid statement. That's what I would say. Can he do more? Of course he can do more. Can he track back more? Of course he can. But he scored 36 goals as well this season. So if he's a team killer, what about Rodrigo and what about Vinicius and what about Bellingham and what about all the others? It's not just about him. Can he do more? Of course he could. He would be the first one to admit that. I still don't think it's a bad season. He's 1 goal short from the record by Zamorano for the most goals scored ever in the first season by any Real Madrid player ever. So I'm sorry, that can't be judged as a bad season and him as a team killer.
If Mbappe is a team killer, there are a lot of killers around.
Thank you, Jan.
You're welcome.
There was deep. See, it's deep. It's a deep comment. You got to think about it. It's a thinker one. You got to be a thinker for that one.
Sorry, I challenge your intellect. Sorry, I will not do it.
I
again.
know. Yeah, that's
No,
fair.
hey, I'm with you, Dan. Jan, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm not with Dan. I'm with you, Jan.
Oh, God. Question for Mario. As a defender, if you're up against someone with a height advantage, what would be the most ideal way to defend that player on a set piece?
Very important. I remember, what was it? Ferguson from Everton. First time I ever played in England with Ajax. And there was exactly a great lesson that actually made me want to come to England. You got to jump before he starts jumping. It does not matter how tall the player is. Make sure you get up before him. Because if you get up at the same timing as him, you will get as high as he is. And if he's taller, he's going to flick the ball. But if you go up just one second earlier, he's always late. And then you headed the ball.
I think it's well in those situations you have as an attacker an advantage if you can get hold of the defender. So I think that when I was quite tall striker, but what I had problem with, whatever height of the defender, if I couldn't feel them where they were, as Mario was saying, because they can jump in, I didn't control them and all those kind of things, then my height didn't help. So if a defender is too close, people say mark closer, but sometimes that's an advantage for the attacker.
Jan, who gets the final Champions League spot in the Bundesliga?
I think that, Bayern, Leverkusen, Frankfurt. Frankfurt is playing St. Pauli at home in the weekend. I think they will get that. Dortmund is playing away at Leverkusen. That is an interesting game. Dortmund on fire now. So I will say that Dortmund will take the 4th position in the Bundesliga and get into the Champions League.
Final question for Mario. Play, bench or sell the following 90s Ajax strikers. Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Kluivert, Jari Litmanen.
Oh, easy. Bergkamp was a guy I had pictures on my wall. When I wanted to make a doc, he was one of the first that said he doesn't talk to anybody. He literally did the interview for my documentary. So yeah, number one. Kluivert, I know I played with, incredible player. So he be it, and Liedmanen I will have as my last. And I know Ajax people will go like, go crazy. No. This is the journey what I'll follow. Bergkamp.
Right. Yeah.
Dream. Then when I started my dream, Kluivert, because I played with, because he did extraordinary thing. The only thing with Kluivert had is the injuries. Because as a player, I don't think you have seen greatness of him, but he could have been so much even more what he has showed. And the final scoring of the Champions League changed his life. Unbelievable.
Jan, do you want to say anything before we go? Any more insights?
Deep thoughts with Jan.
I would just say that I'm taller than Conte. That's all I want to say.
Oh, that's good. But you both have the same taste in shoes. That is it. Thank you very much. ESPN FC returns tomorrow. We'll be reflecting on hopefully will be another classic in the Champions League. It is, of course, Inter against Barcelona.